From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Mike Krueger. Thank you so much for joining me here for your evening update. You know, we've got slimmer chances for those showers and thunderstorms over the next few days, and looks like we've got a cooler weather coming into the weekend, and especially for next week where we got this taste of fall. Temperatures dropping as much as 15, maybe a little bit more than that, degrees below normal, and then the potential for more mountain showers and possible thunderstorms for parts of next week. So we've got a bit to talk about for your deeper dive forecast, but before we get into all of that, here's your Krueger's Quick Cast for your Thursday, September 4th. Now it's cooling off here as we go into the overnight hours. I think we'll drop down to the low 60s for many of you in the valley. Should make for a pleasant night. Temperatures mainly in the 50s for the higher elevations and mid 50s for the coast. The coast will probably still see some of that fog here overnight into the morning hours. But look at these temperatures. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, you're heading out the door. Mid 60s for the valley. Absolutely gorgeous, and mainly in the 50s elsewhere in the higher elevations. So we've got these clouds off to the west. Those are mainly pushing up to the northeast. That's going to help to drop our temperatures down eventually, but again, not until this weekend and early next week. So I want to show you futurecasts as we go into tomorrow morning. Now notice, of course, the fog along the coast. That's typical. But look at the valley. Look around Willows, Chico, Oroville. See those clouds? That could be some low clouds, maybe a little bit of fog, especially heading southward. That quickly evaporates, though, throughout the morning hours. Now, we do have yet another chance for showers and thunderstorms in northeastern Modoc County through the afternoon tomorrow, but I think everyone else should be looking at dry conditions. So we're kind of breaking away from that potential for thunderstorms, and of course, that'll be the case, drier conditions for your Saturday as well, although a little bit of a kink in the forecast as we go into Saturday. More on that a little bit later, but for tomorrow, expect temperatures upper 80s, low 90s for the valley. Yeah, it's starting to cool off, but still on the warm side. And then 80s and 90s for many of the higher elevations, with mid 60s, give or take, for the coast. So your 7-day forecast for the valley, temperature is really starting to drop. Now, don't cancel any outdoor plans for Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, because if we see any showers, it's going to be very light, and it won't amount to much. So nothing to be terribly concerned about, at least at this point. However, look at the temperatures. Low 80s, even some upper 70s, especially in Chico. For the coast, the chances for showers will start as early as Sunday. Now, this is not going to be a complete washout for anyone. This is just off and on chances for showers, really, as we go through next week, and maybe even some lightning strikes as well. Don't be alarmed by that either. I don't expect a ton of lightning strikes. I don't expect a ton of thunderstorm activity in general, but it is something we'll have to watch for as we go through next week. All right, that's a look at your Krueger's Quick Cast. You know, there's a free 24-hour streaming channel that you have access to. If you have a Roku, you can download the app also on Fire Stick, anywhere YouTube is available. So, you know, most likely you have a smart TV with YouTube on it. Most smart TVs, if not all of them, have the YouTube app on it. So you can subscribe to the Weather NorCal YouTube channel, watch the 24-hour channel, and on demand, watch the latest video forecast on that YouTube app as well. It's also available at weathernorcal.com and the free Weather NorCal app. All right, here's a look at your fire weather forecast sponsored by Garmin's Tractor Service. Now, I show you these winds every single day to show you the overall pattern. And you can really on your own see if there's anything that stands out. As of right now, there doesn't seem to be anything that stands out. Your typical afternoon breezes, the winds dying down in the morning hours, and then once again Saturday afternoon. A little breezy out towards central Siskiyou County, but overall, your typical breezes in the afternoon. Our fire weather risk, it's actually going to be in the high range here for your Friday, but look at this. Out in the valley and eastern mountains, staying outside of that high range. So we are seeing lower fire weather risk, even more so by the time we get into Saturday. You can see here, staying out of the orange, the high range, even for central Siskiyou County. Humidity levels, as you can see here, they're a little bit higher also due to the fact that temperatures are starting to drop, so that is also helping. Now, most of the smoke, as we're seeing the biggest fires, the Blue, Dillon, and Log fires, where we're seeing most of the amount of smoke. Now, it's mainly western Siskiyou County that we are seeing that smoke, and it is spreading a little bit westward into Del Norte, northern Humboldt, and even Trinity County. But then those westerly winds throughout the afternoon blow that smoke eastward, and we see central and eastern Siskiyou County see some of that smoke as we go into Saturday morning as well. All right, so here's the big picture. This looks pretty impressive. This energy is basically moving up and over the ridge of high pressure that is in place. This will eventually, this broad area of low pressure and cooler air will eventually shift closer to us as we go through the weekend and next week, and that's going to be the drop in the temperatures and the chance for rain as well. But looking at the moisture content, you can see here, by the time we do get into Saturday, you can see very dry conditions. Look at the spine of the Sierra. But all of this energy right here, this is moving. See that swirling area of low pressure and all the moisture associated with that? That's moving in. And that's why we do have that chance for rain as early as Sunday for the coast and everywhere else by around Monday, Tuesday of next week. So we take a look at the long-range futurecast here, taking you, your short-range futurecast. Here's that fog again I was talking about, possibly for tomorrow morning out near Chico southward, and of course fog along the coast. Now as we go through Friday afternoon, look at Modoc County. We could still see just enough leftover moisture, enough instability for a stray shower or thunderstorm. That continues into Friday evening, but then by Friday night, that's all pretty much over with. Now Saturday, some of the forecast models actually have been kind of hinting at this over the last few days. We are looking at the potential of a weak disturbance right here, kind of pushing through Trinity County and western Siskiyou County. It could bring maybe a stray sprinkle or light shower and an off chance for a thunderstorm as well. So that's something worth watching on Saturday, but certainly nothing to be concerned about, bottom line. Then the long range, keeping us fairly dry here through most of the weekend. Now, you can see the main thing that we got here is a spin of low pressure. Here's the trough right here. This right here, when I say cool and unsettled, that's something I typically say in the middle of the winter, right? But we're actually seeing a cooler pattern move in. That can help to destabilize the atmosphere a bit, especially when we have this trough moving in. And if we have enough available moisture, which it looks like there just might be, we'll be looking at some rain out there, especially for the coast and the higher elevations. And some of that may work its way into the valley as well. But again, nothing heavy is expected. As you can see here, we're not looking at a ton of rainfall. But on top of that, there is that potential for mountain thunderstorms starting as early as Monday and really through a good portion of next week as well. So fall-like temperatures for next week. As again, I was talking about this trough of low pressure. This is diving to the south, and as it does that, that pushes that heat back down to the south and east, and our temperatures do start to drop as that cooler air begins to move on in. So that is that source of cooler air dropping down in the low to mid 80s. That's right. As you can see here, the 10-day trend, look at that. By next Wednesday, we're down to 80 degrees in Redding, and then temperatures start to slowly climb after that. But even though we're seeing the temperatures climb, we're still well below normal. 96 is the normal high. We're still only up to about 90 by that next Sunday. So yeah, I mean, looking pretty good. Very fall-like out there without a doubt. There you can see those wave heights for your Friday. They're staying fairly low and doesn't look like there's going to be much change there for your Saturday either. All right, so here's your neighborhood forecast sponsored in part by Dignity Health. We're going to start off with Trinity County here, where temperatures are mainly in the 90s. So we're breaking away from those triple digits. Don't be alarmed by this. This is nothing to be majorly concerned about. It's just chance for showers and maybe some thunderstorms in there as well. Otherwise, we're dry mainly through the weekend. Minus that slim chance as we go into Saturday afternoon with that weak disturbance passing through. Here's your Dignity Health North Coast neighborhood forecast. Temperatures upper 80s for Garberville, Alder Point, 68 for Blue Lake. And the chances for showers for the coast and even inland will be here as early as Sunday, and then off and on showers here through next week. Now, again, this is not a washout by any stretch of the imagination. It's just going to be looking at off and on chances for showers starting Sunday, lasting through next week. Your Dignity Health neighborhood forecast for Siskiyou County. Its temperatures are going to be the 80s and 90s. Again, nothing to be alarmed about. Mainly looking at some scattered showers, maybe a few thunderstorms in there, but nothing widespread, nothing major when we're talking lightning strikes. That's also the case for Modoc County. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, 86 for Westwood, 82 in Shingletown, and 84 degrees in Kronberg. We take your Dignity Health Valley neighborhood forecast to the south. Those temperatures mid to upper 80s. I've got the word chance in there for the Valley come Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Is this any reason for you to cancel any outdoor plans? Absolutely not, because it's going to be few and far between, and it looks like at this point it won't be anything all that significant. 92 degrees for Redding, as well as Anderson, 91 degrees for Cottonwood, and Red Bluff, about 90 degrees. So there's your 7-day forecast for Redding. Temperatures dropping down to the low 80s by Monday, Tuesday. Look at that. I mean, struggling to get out of the 70s by next Wednesday, and then slowly working their way back up towards the end of next week. All right, that's your evening forecast. I'll be back again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. and live on Coffee with Krueger at 6:30. Have yourselves a great night.
At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.